You know how the smartphone industry is always buzzing with changes. It's like a roller coaster ride. Every year, we get hit with new features, design tweaks, and cool tech that keeps us guessing. One of the big names in this game is Samsung, especially with their Galaxy S series. After the impressive launch of the Galaxy S24 series earlier this year, everyone's got their eyes peeled for what's coming next with the Galaxy S25 series. Even though the official launch is still a few months away, the rumor mill is spinning like crazy, dishing out all sorts of speculation about what we can expect from Samsung's flagship for 2025. So, let's dig in and chat about what's been floating around. Samsung has this pretty solid track record when it comes to rolling out their Galaxy S phones. For the past few years, they've usually unveiled new models around January or February. Based on that trend, it seems likely that the Galaxy S25 will also make its debut during those months in early 2025. If you're a fan of these devices, it's a good idea to keep an eye on those months. Who knows? You might want to start saving up now. Now let's talk about the names. Samsung has kept things pretty straightforward with their Galaxy S series. You've got the base model, the Plus, and then the Ultra. But here's where it gets interesting. There's been some chatter recently about them possibly shaking things up a bit with the S25 series. Some early rumors suggested that the S25 Ultra might get a new name, maybe something like the Galaxy S25 Note, while the S25 Plus could be called the S25 Pro. Sounds intriguing, right? But honestly, as we get closer to the launch date, it seems a bit less likely that we'll see major changes to the names. We haven't heard anything solid from reliable sources yet, so we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. When it comes to design, the S25 Ultra is expected to sport a refined look. Over the years, the Galaxy S series has maintained a pretty consistent design vibe, so we're not expecting a total makeover. Instead, it looks like the S25 Ultra will introduce some subtle but cool improvements. Recent CAD renders suggest it'll have flatter sides and more rounded corners, which could give it a fresh, modern feel. While that might seem like a tiny detail, trust me, those little changes can make a big difference in how the device feels in your hand. Plus, rumors say the S25 Ultra might be about 14 grams lighter than the S24 Ultra, which is a nice bonus for anyone who spends hours glued to their phone. Another thing to watch for is the potential for smaller bezels and a better screen-to-body ratio. According to some sources, the S25 Ultra could come with a 6.86-inch display, though they might market it as a 6.9-inch screen. If they can slim down those bezels without making the phone feel bulky, that's definitely a win. Who doesn't want a bigger screen without the extra weight, right? Last year, Samsung introduced titanium as a build material for the S24 Ultra, which was a pretty big upgrade from aluminum. This switch not only gave the phone a super premium feel, but also boosted its durability, making it less prone to dents and scratches. It seems likely they'll stick with titanium for the S25 Ultra, but there's some buzz about whether they'll use the same grade. The S24 Ultra used grade 2 titanium, which is easier to work with, but not as tough as grade 5 titanium, the kind Apple uses in their iPhone 15 Pro series. A now-deleted post from a tipster hinted there might be some uncertainty about whether Samsung will make the leap to that tougher grade for the S25 Ultra. If they decide to stick with grade 2 titanium, it's not the end of the world, but it will be interesting to see how that all shakes out. Now let's chat about processors, another hot topic in the smartphone world. Traditionally, Samsung has offered two different chipsets for its Galaxy S series, Snapdragon processors for some regions and Exynos chips for others. But in 2023, Samsung made a pretty big move by going all in on Snapdragon processors, ditching Exynos because of performance and efficiency concerns with the Galaxy S24 series. They switched back to a dual-chip strategy, providing Snapdragon chips for the Ultra model while offering both Snapdragon and Exynos options for the base and Plus models. Initially, it seemed like this dual strategy would carry on with the Galaxy S25 series, but a recent report suggests that the Exynos 2500 is facing manufacturing challenges. This has led to speculation that Samsung might ditch Exynos entirely and stick with Snapdragon for all models. If that happens, we could see a serious performance boost across the board, something that many users would totally appreciate. Early benchmarks for the Snapdragon chip are already looking impressive, showing performance that even outshines Apple's latest, a 17 Pro, which powers the iPhone 16 series. Pretty wild, right? Moving on to one of the most talked about features, the camera setup. Everyone loves a good camera, especially for the Ultra model. At first, there was a lot of buzz about a major overhaul, with whispers of a simpler triple-lens setup that might include a 50-megapixel ultra-wide lens alongside the existing 200-megapixel main sensor. However, recent leaks suggest Samsung might go for more incremental improvements instead of a full redesign. According to reports, the S25 Ultra will probably keep the 200-megapixel main sensor but introduce a new 50-megapixel ultra-wide lens. The other sensors, like the 10-megapixel 3x telephoto lens and the 50-megapixel 5x periscope telephoto lens, are likely to stay the same. So, while we might not see anything groundbreaking, those tweaks could still lead to noticeable improvements in image quality and versatility for all you photography lovers out there. Now, when we talk about battery life, always a hot topic, Samsung may be planning some significant upgrades for the Galaxy S25 series. While we don't have confirmed details about the battery capacities yet, there are whispers suggesting that the S25 Ultra will keep a 5,000 mAh battery with support for 45-watt fast charging. The base Galaxy S25 is rumored to come with a 4,000 battery, while the S25 Plus might have a 4,900 mAh battery. Even though these capacities are pretty similar to what we saw in the previous models, the new Snapdragon processor is expected to boost overall battery efficiency, which could lead to better battery life. Plus, there's a feature on the horizon that aims to enhance battery performance by around 10%. Seriously, who wouldn't want longer battery life? Oh, and here's another cool possibility for the S25 Ultra: satellite connectivity. This is similar to the tech we're seeing in the Pixel 9 series. This feature would let users send emergency messages or make limited calls, even in areas where cell service is sketchy or non-existent. Talk about a lifesaver for those who might find themselves in remote spots or emergency situations. In addition to improvements in battery and processor performance, the Galaxy S25 series is expected to feature some upgrades in RAM and storage, which is always a plus. The S25 Ultra is rumored to offer a hopping 16 gigs of RAM, an awesome boost for power users who multitask or game on their devices. There are also rumors that the base Galaxy S25 might come with 12 gigs of RAM, which would be a nice upgrade from the 8 gigs found in the Galaxy S24. However, some reports suggest that the base model might stick with 8 gigs, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get closer to launch. As for storage, Samsung just dropped a roadmap for the next generation of UFS technology, indicating that 4.0 is set to be unveiled at CES 2025. This new tech is expected to double the read and write speeds compared to the current UFS 4.0 standard, which means faster load times and a smoother experience for users, especially when using demanding applications. Who wouldn't want that kind of speed? All in all, it's pretty clear that we'll be hearing more and more about the Galaxy S25 series as we get closer to the launch. So, if you're excited about what's coming, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all the latest updates. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful or just plain interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I can't wait to catch you all in the next video. Until then, take care and stay awesome.